Bible never once uses the phrase guardian angel, yet millions of believers stake their spiritual security on having one. This startling reality opens a fascinating window into one of Christianity's most beloved yet misunderstood concepts. While popular culture has painted guardian angels as personal celestial bodyguards assigned to each individual from birth, Scripture tells a far more nuanced and ultimately more powerful story. The closest biblical reference to personal angelic protection comes from Jesus himself in Matthew 18:10. "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Notice the careful wording, their angels, not their guardian angels. This passage, spoken in the context of protecting children and the vulnerable, suggests angelic advocacy rather than constant personal guardianship. King David's Psalm chapter 91, verse 11, provides another cornerstone verse. "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Yet this promise comes with crucial context. It is addressed to those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High and rest in the shadow of the Almighty. The protection isn't automatic. It's conditional upon intimate relationship with God. The biblical narrative reveals angels as God's messengers and agents of divine intervention, but their appearances are strategic rather than constant. When Daniel faced the lion's den, an angel shut the lion's mouth, but only after Daniel demonstrated unwavering faith. When Peter sat chained in prison, an angel orchestrated his miraculous escape. Yet this same Peter would later face martyrdom without such intervention. The book of Hebrews offers perhaps the most illuminating perspective. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Here we see angels not as personal attendants, but as servants of God's greater purposes, dispatched according to divine wisdom rather than human need or desire. The most profound biblical example of angelic ministry comes not from protection, but from strengthening in suffering. In the Garden of Gethsemane, as Jesus faced the ultimate test of human anguish, Luke 22:43 records that an angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. Notice what didn't happen. The angel didn't remove the cup of suffering or provide an escape route. Instead, the angel offered strength to endure what lay ahead. This pattern reveals the true nature of angelic ministry. Not to shield us from every hardship, but to provide divine strength, guidance, and intervention according to God's perfect will and timing. The Bible presents angels as real, powerful beings actively involved in the spiritual realm. But their primary allegiance is to God's purposes, not our comfort. What emerges from careful biblical study is far more magnificent than the popular guardian angel concept. Rather than having a single celestial guardian, believers are surrounded by an entire heavenly host of ministering spirits, dispatched by a loving Father who sees the complete picture of our lives. Sometimes this means dramatic rescue, sometimes supernatural strength, and sometimes the grace to walk through valleys that angels could easily lift us over. The prophet Elisha's servant experienced this reality firsthand, when his eyes were opened to see the hills, full of horses and chariots of fire surrounding them. 2 Kings 6:17. The protection was already there. He just needed eyes to see it. The biblical truth about angels calls us to something deeper than relying on a personal celestial bodyguard. It invites us into the security of knowing that the Creator of the universe has marshaled His heavenly forces on behalf of those who love Him. This isn't a promise of earthly ease, but of divine partnership in life's greatest battles. Instead of focusing on whether you have a guardian angel, focus on cultivating the relationship that ensures you're surrounded by God's ministering spirits, Dive deeper into Scripture. Strengthen your faith through prayer and obedience. Trust in God's perfect timing and purposes, knowing that His angels excel in strength and are eager to do His bidding on your behalf. The question is not whether you have a guardian angel, it is whether you are living in such close relationship with God that His entire heavenly host stands ready to serve His purposes in your life.